Let's talk about other stuff, hey? This is just going to be a video that's bunched up and talk about a few things. Now, whilst Declan Rice is probably going to Arsenal, we are obviously looking at other targets. Edson Alvarez is just, well, we were linked to him. It looked like he was going Dortmund. Dortmund had pulled up, so maybe there's a chance for us. João Paulinho on the list, Zakaria, those type of midfielders, not the Ward-Prowses, who'd probably be just an additional midfielder, and Alex Scott, that's an additional midfielder. I want to talk about Mark Warburton. I listened to the Hammers Chat interview that Gio from Hammers Chat did with Mark Warburton. It was a really good interview. And I've been thinking about this for a bit. And he kind of mentioned it on Sky as well. It's fair enough. Part of the reason why he left, he doesn't really like, well, not like, but it's like he would prefer to make the decisions for himself, as in, like, he would like to be the guy to make the final decisions, because he's used to being a manager, was a manager at QPR, Forest, Rangers, Brentford, etc. But obviously, as just a coach that's in there to help, he doesn't make the final decision. And the problem with this, the problem I have is that he also said different philosophies, but he also said he was brought into fully attacking philosophy, but him and Moyes see the game differently. Now, here's my problem. If you bring in a guy for a different philosophy and you fail at that philosophy, but then you go back to the old ways because it wasn't working, were you listening to the guy properly? Because this is probably why we played that shit formation, the 3-4-1-2 formation. That was fucking shit. It didn't work in many games. Like, it took us so long to score against Anderlecht. We drew Ghent. We drew Southampton using that formation. There's not really much of an excuse, really. So when you bring in a coach for a different philosophy, you have to listen to him. You have to listen to him. Obviously, Mark Warburton's friends with David Moyes, been friends with David Moyes for a bit, and he left just because otherwise there would have been too much of a clash, which is fair enough. I've gained a bit more of respect for Mark Warburton because I felt like a lot of it might have been his fault at the time, but looking at that, I can't really say he did many things wrong. I don't know why we hired him if we're going to not listen to him about his philosophy. So that this would probably mean that we're going back to the counter-attacking philosophy, which is good and all. Let's hope it works. But I think we've seen many times this season that we've been found out tactically in terms of that. Speaking of Hammers Chat, by the way, and I really like Hammers Chat, I want to touch on something. Ex-West Ham employee put out a transfer update. There was rumours of Lucas Paqueta leaving. But Gonzo was on the West Ham Way channel talking about Paqueta being happy and settled. And only if we get Lucas Paqueta, like, a big price for him, we might have something to consider, as what ex-West Ham employee said. But if you go on Hammers Chat's latest video, sorry, that was an audio there. Oh, have they deleted it? Hold on. I'm sure they haven't deleted it. I swear they haven't. Yeah, Lucas Paqueta wants to leave for footballing reasons. Is Moyes a hindrance to West Ham's progress? Now, as much as I think Moyes should leave, there is no point of this upload. Lucas Paqueta wants to leave for footballing reasons when 6 days ago you went on the West Ham Way channel after it was revealed that he's happy and settled and he's ready for another season because of the Europa League. There is no point of doing that. And knowing and if you know our fan base, you can't be putting this in your title, because our fans go into meltdown and will automatically blame it on the manager, even though he is happy and settled. Now, I would criticise the manager, however, but Paqueta's not leaving. Instantly, when these big new signings came in, it was almost like they're gonna leave straight away. Just because he changes footballing agent does not mean he's going to leave. And like, it is what it is. But moving on, I'm going to talk about Thomas Souček, because there's rumours of him leaving, and there's very minor interest from Napoli for some reason. Just won the league, they're in the Champions League. I don't see that happening, but we're not looking to sell him. Why? He needs to go. He does need to go. I'm sorry, he needs to go. Alongside Ben Johnson. And even with players like Aaron Cresswell, like, I genuinely think these players just have to leave now and leave on a high. Ben Johnson's currently at the under-21 championships. Thomas Souček needs to leave, man. It hasn't worked out in the end. There are attributes to him, but let's be fair here. I'm not really thinking that he's going to progress, and especially with Declan Rice leaving, they had such a good partnership in a sense. Like, a lot of chemistry. This is only going to make it worse, the fact that Declan Rice is going to leave and Thomas Souček is going to stay. Because you actually need a midfielder to do extra work. Now, if you're a fan that wants us to progress in terms of footballing wise, in terms of the way we play football, then this should be one of the first people to get out. And I know what people are going to say. They're going to bring up Antonio as well. But you also need to keep the same energy for Vladimir Coufal. He's not really that good in possession, just knocks it down the channel. And Mikel Antonio would be good off the bench, but I don't know whether he'd want to play a bench role. But is what it is. And when it comes to Outgoings, there's obviously been interest from Everton when it comes to Ben Johnson, but he should be the first person to leave this club because he's been absolutely dog shit. And I know he was actually alright, and it was actually good in the 2021-22 season, but I've been waiting for this guy to improve for a bit. Like, I've seen young players at this club. Let's not do this. Ben Johnson cannot cross. Last season he couldn't even fucking defend, and that was his only good attribute. Decent with both feet. I wouldn't say he's the greatest in possession either. Not fast. And he's actually genuinely not that great in 1v1s, I'll be honest. So he should be the first one to go. But listen, that's a short summary video. That's your video for today. A bit of a mess, but West Ham are a bit of a mess, and I'm getting very aggravated with the lack of transfers and the fact that Tim Streedon is coming in. He'll be confirmed. I'll talk about that soon. That'll probably be announced in a couple of days. That'll probably be announced, I don't know, like 2 or 3 days. I don't know when the 1st of July is. And then we're selling Declan Rice and then get on to transfers. And it looks like Harvey Barnes will be the first person that we're going to go for. So hopefully, unless someone else goes for him. But anyway, make sure to like the video, guys. Subscribe if you're new. Social medias are in the description if you want to follow me in the email for the inquiries. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.